Good afternoon again today, October 28th, 2020. Thank you for being with us again. I am Tammy Rivera, Executive Director and Lead Organizer for Southside Organizing Center. So we have a complete team helping us do the forum for you guys. That includes Marisol, she's in production. Andrea is coordinating, helping with the guests, and doing all of the comments as well. You guys are with them today. We can see the number of people that are with us, but we can't see who is with us. So if you can give us a little comment, an emoji, just let us know that you're with us. If you would like access to the previously aired forums, you can go to our Facebook page. You can also go to YouTube as well. We have them in English and in Spanish. So please take advantage of that. All of SOC's personnel is still here with you guys. Hi, Shannon. It's just that because of we want to keep everybody safe, so we can't be in person because of the pandemic. But you can still connect with us. Telephone 414-672-8090. Email soc@socmilwaukee.org. And of course, our website, www.socmilwaukee.org. We have information, resources, and then different ways that you can get involved. Hello, Diana. So since we're working virtually, you're not seeing us with masks because, well, I'm alone in my house, so there is no need. But of course, we're following all of the laws and regulations because 53215, the principal area where so many people are contaminated with COVID, live. So 53204 is another area in our district. So we take all of the precautions that we need to take. We are all working virtually. So before we bring on our guests today, I want to give a legal disclaimer that we need to share because we are an organization, a nonprofit organization. So we can swim in some waters and others we can't. So the opinions and points of views shared here are not necessarily those of SOC. Hello, Dulce. Hello, hello. I love seeing you with us. Now, a reminder, if you appreciate anything that we're doing through this forum, please, we need at least 3 of you guys to complete our survey. So please, it only takes a few minutes. Let us know what information is helpful for you. What are the segments or the information that we make that we do here in the forum, that we share in the forum? And what are some things that, we could do better? Or guest ideas, information, anything else that you guys would like to know. So please, who's going to help me out today? Which 3 of you guys will help? Thank you, Diana. Now we need 1 more, 2 more. And of course, you'll find the link in the comments. Super, super easy to do. Now, today we're going to talk a little bit about some legal themes. Also, you don't want to miss tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to have Sheila, Bardwan, Isausen, Najid from the Refugee Coalition. And then Friday, you don't want to miss it, we're going to have Chairman Spencer, who was recently elected to be the new city lawyer. So you guys are going to meet him. So don't miss it. Tomorrow and the day after. Shannon has a question. Do we need to live in the postcode, the postal areas that you just mentioned to be able to fill out the survey? No. Any person that is watching the forum, participating in the forum, they can fill it out. So Sharon, you're welcome to do it. I think Shannon's number 2. Dulce said thumbs up. So I think we have at least 3. Everybody that's filling it out, just do it. And at least we have 3. So now I want to invite you to have lawyer Roberto Guerra from Legal Aid Society. So let's welcome him. Good afternoon, everybody. So happy to be here. And just to give you guys some explications about the services that we do as an organization. And we're really grateful that you're here. And I do have our 3rd person who is going to be giving our survey. So thank you so much, Shannon. So, Roberto, talk to us. Talk to us about your role with the association. What do you do with the organization, with Legal Aid Society? Of course. I'm a lawyer specialized in human rights. I am also a specialist in housing, renting, also other legal issues like consumer rights, unemployment, bankruptcy. And then part of my job here at the organization is doing community outreach in the zones, basically on the south side of Milwaukee, so that they can know about the services that we provide here. So talk to me a little bit about Legal Aid. What is the organization? What kind of mission do you have? What services do you have other than what you just mentioned right now? Of course, our organization, Legal Aid Society, was founded years ago, 1916. So over 100 years, we've been in the community. We are one of the nonprofit organizations that has been around for the longest in Wisconsin and also in the United States. So in our roles, different hats that we wear, like everything day-to-day work is civil rights for people, low-income people, especially in Milwaukee County. We also provide representation, legal representation in different kinds of rights, like questions about evictions, consumer rights, bankruptcy, Social Security, employment, and tax fraud also. We also have another division that's completely dedicated to minors that is assigned by the judge. So if there's a question about custody, what the judge will do is assign to our division someone to represent that the minor. And so if we're talking about custody, adoption, or loss of paternity, those are some of the other services that we offer. Lots that you guys are doing. How big is the organization? How many people are there? Right now, we're, everything lawyers, paralegals, different staff. We all do all of the work, and sometimes we got to do, different things, not even just being a lawyer. We all do a little bit of everything, right? Yeah, absolutely. I think we're around 45, 50 people in the organization. Lately, we've been growing, thank God, to try and keep helping people and our residents here in the county of Milwaukee. Very good. Super happy that we have this service for our folks because there's lots that are happening in the community and we really don't know enough about our rights. So, Roberto, we can talk about lots of different things today. All of the services that you said, bankruptcy, eviction, bankruptcy. But let's start and let's see where the time takes us. What is the most critical point that you think that we should talk about? I think, without any doubt, right now, especially in the city of Milwaukee, is housing. Talking about evictions, completely connected with the consequences of the pandemic. What we do here as an organization right now, we're focusing on representing people and low income people in the Milwaukee County to defend them in cases of eviction. Right now, this whole pandemic has caused lots of job losses, and then people end up being evicted because they don't have the income. And there has been attempts from the government to help economically, suspensions. We've seen the numbers go down, but if I had to pick just one, that would be it. Right now in the organization, we've been creating relationships with community organizations like you guys, community advocates, UMOS, and we've been trying to make a network of connections so that if we can't help them, we could refer them to the correct person. And then obviously, as part of our services, a very important point to mention, we are not looking at your immigration status at all to be able to provide services. There are not a lot of organizations that can say that. We're one of the few. We don't ask so that's how it has to be done. Super important for us to know that we have resources for those people that are available. It's a lot of the help that's available through the pandemic has not been offered to that population. But the services that you guys have, they do include that population. That's part of our community. So it's important for people to know. Let me say hi to Mayra. She says, I just got here late. What are you guys talking about? Eloina, right now we're talking about evictions, but specifically legal portions of it because we have Legal Aid Society with us. So let's talk about some specifics with evictions because there's a lot of confusion. The federal government responded and talked about suspending, or it was the state that suspended the ability to be able to evict someone because of their consequences of the pandemic. But the confusion is, okay, there's laws. People break laws all the time. So there is possibility that somebody knows somebody, a family member, that was evicted, even though there was a suspension. So, what do you do in that situation? Of course, Tammy, to be able to offer a little bit of context in that, the suspension of evictions, the most recent one, was through the federal government. It was from CDC. You're totally correct. The suspension that you mentioned expired a few months ago. So the federal government basically presented another order supported by the CDC, the Center for Disease Prevention, and they are now more focused on preventing evictions, because if you're evicted, you don't have any place to go, you stay with your family, and then the disease just keeps spreading. So it was a relevant theme for the government to get involved. So basically, this order, what it contemplates is suspending the evictions just because of rent not being paid. It's not a complete suspension of evictions. What does that mean? That means you, as a renter, you have to meet all of the other terms that come in your lease. If you can't pay, you qualify. Well, we are always trying to tell people, informing them, you have to follow all of the rest terms, all of the other terms. If it says no pets, you can't have pets. If it says I can't bring more people that are on my lease, you have to follow those regulations. You can't commit any crimes on the property or the unit. So that is not covered by the order. This order is made for people that, because of the pandemic, they've lost their income. They've lost their hours at work. And because of that, they can't pay their rent. So that's what the declaration from the CDC is for. And if anybody that's watching, if you're interested in this program, you can always speak with us. We can give you the link for our online intake. We can give you our phone number. Before, we did have clinics in person to try to, be in the community a little more. But now, being face to face as a lawyer, it is difficult to not see faces. It's been a completely different experience. We always like to meet our clients in person, but obviously, because of the pandemic, so everything is virtual. Got it. So if somebody is, troubled, can't pay their rent, how can they, get involved in this service? What do they have to do to be able to avoid an eviction? What are their steps? First thing you have to do, and I recommend it, is talk to the landlord. Sometimes the relationship is difficult. We understand that. Sometimes you have to go to the person and explain the situation. If they're not being receptive to the idea of maybe be able to pay part of it, or maybe they could accept, like a late payment, then what you have to do is, in the internet, you can look the CDC declaration. It's just on a click away. You can look it in Google, CDC declaration, and the first thing that comes up will ask you to download and print the file. If you don't have access to the internet or a printer or any problem with that, you can just call us, and it will give you the link now with all of our information. And we would love to print it for you and send you the declaration via mail with instructions. To answer your question, the declaration has to be printed. You have to read it very well because it's under oath. So you cannot lie on this form. The declaration, you have to read it, you have to sign it if you're applying, and then you have to turn it in to the landlord. One time you turn it in personally, we are recommending that you send it for certified mail because that is the proof to the judge. It's the evidence, right, that you took that step. Exactly. So you turn it in personally and you send it for certified mail. And then you get a little receipt. It's green in color, or green and white. And then you just set that aside in your records. And with that, you should be protected. I did mention that we are still seeing cases of landlords that are still serving an eviction notice. And that is why it's so important that the landlord receives the information and then you show them, this is my receipt. That should suspend the procedure of eviction until 2021. Another important point, you still owe the rent. It still builds up. It's not forgiven. No, the bills don't forgive. Those are gonna keep building up. So you have to keep making strides to not have a huge bill at the end of it. So those are the steps that you have to take for right now. So it kind of sounds like this could be a little complicated. That the more simple thing would be to just talk to you guys to make sure that they're taking all of these appropriate steps. So let me ask you, obviously you speak English and Spanish, Roberto. The organization the whole organization is prepared to receive people of different languages right now, just English and Spanish. I don't know that we have other languages available. Otherwise, if somebody has, problems with their English, I can tell you that we will do whatever we can to find somebody to be able to explain so that we can, give them the services, even though it might not be the easiest. There's always a way to try and help people, to try to find an interpreter. Court, they have to provide an interpreter. So if somebody speaks Hmong, for example, the court will provide us an interpreter. And lots of times, even within your family, there's somebody that, maybe a first generation Bornaki that can help to make sure that everything's understood. So we're always going to try as hard as we can to help everybody with our services. So is there a cost for these services? Nope. No cost for our services. Well, I mean, if they qualify because of income, right? Those are our requirements. First, the income, 125% or less under the federal poverty level. And that depends on the size of your household, how many people live there. So usually if you're receiving food share or any other program like that, you usually qualify. So if you have any questions, just communicate with us. Another factor is you have to be a resident of Milwaukee County. And with those two factors, those are the biggest requirements. And then just give us a call and we'll help you fill out the forms. Let's say hi to Rocio, who is with us. So you have to be a Milwaukee County resident, but you do not need legal documentation that you are a citizen or anything like that, correct? So what is your phone number? So in the comments, so call us 414-727-5300. And then also there's other types of help for different kinds of assistance with rent with a different organization in the community called Community Advocates. So their number is 414-270-4646. So we're going to share all of this information with you guys on our website as well. Thank you, Marisol, for having all of that information. So let's share everything again on Facebook, all the other links. Anything else that you would like to share before we finish up today? Yeah, quick. I just would like to share about the different services that are available. And we know that evictions is what's happening in the community. We can also help with disputes about Social Security depositing, if the landlord maybe doesn't want to give you your security deposit back, termination or notices to vacate, those 5 and 28 day notices, anything with the lease, rights about, as a renter, you don't know your rights. And there is a law outside of that lease. And sometimes we just focus on the lease. And there are laws that protect renters that need to be followed. Obviously, like we mentioned, evictions, there are problems that come up with the state of the property, if the landlord isn't willing to repair things, so we can help with all of that. And also, to wrap up, other than the phone number that we're sharing, you can always come to our internet page, our website. It's www.lasmilwaukee.com/formulario. So www.lsa.com. And then you can find all of the forms that you need. You can fill it out, and then your application will be referred to one of the lawyers, maybe to me. And then we will be giving you guys the attention that you need, depending on your service that you need. Like I said, there's no cost. It does not matter what your immigration status is with us. Okay, thank you so much for being with us, Roberto. And we're going to let the participants know winter is coming. So let's do everything that we can so that people do everything that they can so that they don't end up in a crisis in this city, because that's super dangerous in this city. Thank you for being with us, Roberto. Thank you, Tammy. Thanks for having me. Take care. Bye-bye. So let's make sure we don't lose anybody else. We don't want anybody in the streets in Milwaukee in the winter because it's difficult to survive that. Thanks so much. If all the comments, if there was somebody else that I didn't see, please forgive me. Keep commenting. So now let's look at a video that Marlene compared. And now we're going to talk about how to keep kids safe during COVID. Of course, looking at the CDC, kids don't really have less of a risk like we originally thought from COVID. If you have kids or babies that have been sick, a lot of the cases that we know are mild. So it looks like kids with COVID have maybe just mild symptoms, which have been fever, congestion, cough. Some other symptoms, like a cold, there's also been reports of vomiting and diarrhea. Also, kids that have a higher risk, like those with special needs, special medical needs. There's a lot more that we need to learn about coronavirus and how it affects kids. So meanwhile, keep in mind that kids can still pass COVID to other people who have a higher risk, like older people and people that have pre-existing health conditions. So do your part to stop the spread. Doing everything that we all need to do to stay safe. Show your kids to do the same things. Washing your hands with water and soap or using a hand sanitizer based with alcohol. Avoiding sick people, coughing, sick, and then cleaning and disinfecting daily all kinds of surfaces that are frequently touched. For example, tables, chairs, remote controls, sinks, dishwashers, toilets, desks. So wash articles like stuffed animals, and just watch the labels for the instructions. And of course, using social distancing. Of course, dry everything completely. So also, try to avoid contact with those that have any symptoms. While kids aren't in school, they shouldn't be playing with other kids from other houses. If they're playing outside of the house, it is essential that they keep their 6 feet of distance from any person that doesn't live in the house with them to help them keep their social connections. Even with social distancing, help them to have phone calls supervised or chats, video chats supervised. Remember, if kids are with people outside of the house, that can put us all at risk. Let's work together to protect us, to protect our families and communities. For more information, go to cdc.gov/coronavirus or coronavirus.gov. Thank you, Marlene, for finding that information. And we're going to follow folks so that we can get out of this. It's because we don't have that education. And we're just going to keep in the same cycle. And our government, too, from the highest to the lowest, we all got to follow it. So let's do our part so that we can follow all of the recommendations to be safe. So now we're going to have an update, a civic update that our civic team has brought us. Very important that you guys remember that your vote is your voice. Is that the situation is, it's serious. So it's important that you vote. So now we're going to tell you everything that you need to know to be able to comply with your obligation. So your vote counts in the 414. Are you going to vote in person? Before you go, Verify that you are registered in your state. Verify your voting location. Verify that you have an acceptable ID. The voting sites will all be safe and protected with precautions to keep COVID from spreading. For more information, 414 votes. Voters, this is the moment to know your rights. We know that the history is on your side during the most important election of our time. Your time in your vote is your voice. So look at yourself with a voter with the most important voice, the first-time voter, the disabled voter, the voice of an older person, the Black, white, Latino, Asian voter, heterosexual, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, non-binary. You are important. It is so important that your voice is not suppressed. It's not difficult. You just need to know your rights. Voters, you have the right to a just and free election. Call us or text 866-OUR-VOTE for more information about your voting rights. Thank you, Gabby and her team, for that information. I know, folks, maybe all of the calls and all of the texts, the TV programs, so much information about voting, but there's not much time left. So take advantage of the opportunity to change the future. I know I just got back from Zablocki Library, returning my absentee ballot. So if you guys are going to mail it in, it's not going to get there in time. So you have to take it to a library. It's easy. I wasn't even there a few minutes. Just put it in the box and that's it. So I want to remind you that tomorrow we have a very special guest. We need to know everybody that's in our community, other cultures, other people in our community. So tomorrow, Sheila Badwan in Sausana G from the Refugee Commission. And then Friday, you're going to meet for first time on the forum, Tierman Spencer. He was recently elected to be the City of Milwaukee attorney. So very important people, and you're going to get to know them here. So here we have Esperanza. Hello, Esperanza. She's sharing a quote. It says, we don't need a governor, a perfect governor, but we do need the perfect participation of the citizens. That's very true, Esperanza. Thank you for sharing it. So now, those of you that said that you would fill out the survey, Shannon, I think, Dulce, and Eloina, I think, Diana, Dulce, Shannon. They promised to fill out the survey. Anybody else that's with us, you want to fill it out? Marisol, what is the information about the survey? Has this forum been informative for you? What part of the forum could we improve or change? Let us know by responding to a quick survey that can be found in the comment section. That way we can keep this forum going for residents. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Marisol. As always, she's here sharing information with us. So now, let's give thanks to you guys that are with us today and those people that are going to fill out the survey. And then, of course, all the people that are going to be with us tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and everybody that's going to vote. There's only a little bit of time left. So let's leave you guys with a video thank you to all of the partners that have helped us financially. Thank you for being with us. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hello, SOC viewers. How are you? I'm Gabby, Civic Engagement Manager, and I am here to thank all of you guys for being with us and another community forum live with SOC, and also for completing our questionnaire. You can always find the link in the comments. Other than that, we want to say thank you to our sponsors. They are Wisconsin Voices Community Development Block Grants, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, Employ Milwaukee, and all of the faithful individuals that have given us personal donations. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you in another community forum.